find it in the Google Store, the Apple Store, or use the link at www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Yes, now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331.
Talk Today is proudly brought to you by Pirates Fest 2022. Stay in the know. Get the full event lineup at piratesfestcayman.com.
And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village. Convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. And thank you so much. I think Wednesdays are wonderful and today especially going to be exceptional because we're going to start off our conversation with the excellent folks from the Sunrise Adult Training Center. There's an amazing play next Thursday and we're going to tell you about it. And we will even sing together. You know what? Who knows? So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. I wanted you to be a part of a discussion. We want to show what is so exceptional in our society and honored to welcome once again the director of the Sunrise Adult Training Center, Ms. Kimberly Warden. Good afternoon. Thank you so much and thank you for allowing us to have the company of your excellent clientele. The actors, the A-listers.
Listen, we've brought the top class. Yes. We've brought all of the A-listers here to be with you this afternoon. We're so pleased and delighted. Thank you for having us on your show and giving us a chance to invite everybody to come next week, Thursday evening. The curtains go up at 7. It's our version of Aladdin.
Listen, this is the best version. If you haven't seen it, this is the time to see it. And thanks for bringing on Ms. Stephanie Rattan for sharing with us. As we get a chance, through you to speak to the A-listers, the celebrities, the Oscar-nominated, winners. Ms. Stephanie, being in a play is fantastic. Being in an audience, to me, is just enlightening. But to be the director, to be the coordinator, to be that person from home at the end of the day, when the curtains, come again and the lights go down, you can go, wow. So good afternoon.
Yes. Thank you for having us again. It's an absolutely great feeling, and this is I think my third year being the play director, but I've been involved in all the other plays that we've been a part of, and for every single staff member, not just me, it is the most rewarding thing at the end of the day. The efforts that are going into this right now as we speak are tremendous. We have our staff are the best production team I think you could ever have. We're thinking outside of the box and making an amazing production for our clients to shine.
And you're so casual to say this is our third year, but it's wonderful that
this is our 8th play.
Yeah, for almost the last decade.
Yeah.
Right. You've had, almost a play a year.
Yeah.
Ms. Kim.
Almost a play a year. Yeah, I think the pandemic shut it down slightly.
Yeah, thing.
That's all right. Moving on. we keep on going, and I think it's so important. And one of the people ask me every year, why do we do this? And there's so many different reasons. This is a way for the public to come and learn about Sunrise. This is a inclusive theater opportunity. We bring in guests and partners from all over Cayman. We have dancers that are joining us this year. Centerpoint Dance Studio, Dance of the World is joining us. We've even had the Cabinet Secretary and Swanky Kitchen Band in previous productions. So it's an opportunity for us to learn from consummate professionals and from them to get the benefit of working with our team as well. So it's inclusion goes both ways. And then it's a chance for our guys just to demonstrate how incredibly talented they all are, staff and clients alike.
I think everyone will recognize not just the drive, the determination, but that wonderful, sense of love and appreciation for life by working with you. Through you, Miss Kema, perhaps we start with Mr. Mika, and tell us about the play, the actors. It is your version of Aladdin, the only version that matters.
Well, this is it, and this is a version that nobody's seen yet. This is a brand new version. But as we always do, it's important for every single client to have a part in the play. It's important for every single staff member to feel like they belong and that they're contributing. And as Miss Stephanie mentioned, everybody is really giving it their all. I think the production value for $10 a ticket is massive when you come to the show and you just experience it. And all of our clients and their talents are from the heart. It's genuine. They have worked so hard, and we've seen over the years the development of people's self-esteem, people's ability to remember lines and cooperate and coordinate, whether it's in a dance or whether it's in their movements on stage. We've seen staff, and I feel like I'm so proud to see the behind the stage creativity and also the efficiency of our staff. None of us really are theater professionals, but we certainly are learning every single year how to put on an excellent production. So, and I'm especially proud of all of our clients every single year. They just bring it. So I don't know what else to say. They every year they bring the magic, and we're looking forward to yet another show that will definitely let everybody feel that magic. Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping that the public will come and recognize that it's unlike any other performance you'll see, whether off or on Broadway or the Hartwell or anywhere else. And it shows you how, as you shared, the fun, but the participation, but what it can do. You mentioned the professionals, from the dancers to the musicians who partner with you. Without fair contradiction, I can say that they not only do that from the love of their heart, but they know they can learn from so much. They can see the motivation, they can see the inspiration, the enthusiasm, they can see the commitment and dedication. And like many of us, we look in the mirror sometimes and take so much for granted, and the work that you do reminds us. So if I might, could we speak to perhaps Mr. Mika? Well, good afternoon, Mr. Mika. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
All right. It is, as I shared it outside, such an honor to have each of you in our studio, and through you, I want to maybe understand your role. I'm told you're going to be playing Jasmine.
Yes.
And tell us about it. And at some point we'll sing, maybe, if it's okay later.
Okay.
All right. So Jasmine, and your play and how you are. Tell me about it.
I feel confident that the lines that I have to recite, that I'm going to do my best,
Amen.
Put my all into it. And for the first time, I thought I wasn't going to make it through, but God has, seen me through.
Yeah, man, yeah. And it's fun, huh? Preparing and stuff. And, before we ask, we do some more props, Miss Mercedes. Good afternoon. How are you?
I am fine.
All right.
Thank you.
And you're playing Jeannie, I'm told. What is that like for you?
I was saying all the lines.
And and it's and you've had fun so far doing all the rehearsals and everything?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We've been so impressed with how well Mercedes has learned her lines, and she's also been singing as well. So.
All right.
Yes, and she has some of the toughest songs to sing, and we did it over and over again, and she nailed it, and it's just going to be spectacular. The performance next week, she's really going to shine.
I am, without any sense of reservation, full of confidence of that. And this is maybe as a people we start to appreciate, because whether it's you're doing something for school or church, or you're just trying to remember something for work, it takes a lot, and your team comes to it just willingly.
It's definitely a commitment, and we explain that to each person getting involved, the commitment that you're making to learning lines, to singing songs, to learning directions and dance and things like that. And so the expectation is there, and they're met year after year.
Right.
I think it's important to think of the play like we think about life. You bring your best.
Yeah.
You try your hardest. You bring your best, and you grow every day.
Indeed. Well, maybe we could ask Matthew. Good afternoon, Matthew. How are you?
I'm fine.
And now, Aladdin. I know. You're going to be Aladdin.
Aladdin.
Aladdin. Do you have your magic carpet? You're going to be sliding across the stage and everything?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can I come on the carpet with you after the show?
Yes.
All right. and Ms. Daphne, this is where I think the wider public really can see the joy and the importance of being a part of it. You know, we hear inclusion oftentimes, but we don't realize how easy it is both to be included, but how easy it is to be excluded.
Absolutely.
So come in and watching, we're going to be included in the audience and we can get the joy.
Absolutely. This is an interactive experience, and there's just so much opportunity, and we hope that when you come in and be a part of the audience, that you can see ways in which you can also be involved in it, you know, offering whatever talents you have, because that's all we're asking of our staff and our clients as well, is offering your talents.
Right. You're bringing your best, and you're bringing your whole self. We've got some really great community partners as well that I'd love to recognize, and we've got people that have come with offers of time and support. So we've got a whole team of people from Walkers Global. We've got a crew of people from Flow. We've got Centerpoint Dance Studio that I mentioned before, Dance of the World that I mentioned before. I'm sure there's others that I'm probably not even thinking of at the moment, but those are the big ones. Yeah.
And this is where I think we don't realize how much we can offer. And you said something that, for me, is the most important. Time. We all have time until we don't. And we take the time for granted. So when we come back from this break, let's take the time and celebrate. Let's ask, through you, what our actors, plans are. I'm probably thinking there are going to be some Emma-nominated performances.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right. Well,
sounds good.
Please rejoin us after the break. We come back. We'll tell you about the upcoming production of Sunrise Adult Training Center's Aladdin next Thursday. We'll tell you where. We can tell you how a ticket. We're offering a special. One ticket is $10. You can get 100 for 1,000. That's a good deal. All right.
Best deal ever.
Best deal ever. All right. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
When you're craving something big, something tasty that gives you that lip-smacking satisfaction, something that hits the spot, there is nothing better than a footlong from Subway.
It's pretty tasty.
Filling and full of flavor. Try our new sweet onion steak teriyaki with a twist, or the classic chicken teriyaki. Top it with green pepper, onions, cheese, and that sweet onion teriyaki sauce, all piled on your favorite artisanal bread. Satisfy that craving with a footlong from Subway.
Fresh, delicious, tasty, meaty.
Let's make it a meal with a drink, chips, and cookies. There is nothing better than a footlong from Subway.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab. And the whole island is one big party, party, party.
Grand Cayman Pirates Fest is here. Taking over Seafarers Way. Saturday, November 12th, Georgetown events start at 1 p.m. with the cardboard boat race and water mermaids showcase. The Pirates storm the streets at 3 p.m. followed by the float parade, national song and heritage costume competition, and fireworks show at 9 p.m. A full Saturday of thrills for the entire family, including 8 hours of food festival. Saturday, November 12th, the party takes over Seafarers Way. Afternoon till night. Come for lunch, party a bunch, and pirate the night away. Busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Applications for Leadership Cayman 2023 are now open. Leadership Cayman is a 6-month intensive program that identifies and equips leaders with exclusive tools and information needed to take their leadership skills to the next level. Participants will receive exclusive insight from key decision makers and business leaders, create long-lasting connections while challenging themselves to make a difference in their community. Application deadline is Friday, November 11th. To learn more, visit leadershipcayman.ky.
Attention farmers, in the event of a storm, the DOA reminds you to take precautions with identifying and safeguarding livestock. Cattle and horses should be loose in pastures that are not prone to flooding. Other domestic livestock, such as pigs, goats, and chickens, should be kept safe in their pens and cages above flood level. Livestock aged 2 months or less should be secured with their mother in a pen or kept loose with their mother in a safe and sheltered area. For livestock emergencies, call DOA Veterinary Services on 916-2218 in Grand Cayman or 925-5765 Cayman Brac, or email ci.agriculturevs@gov.ky.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks very much for joining us. And thanks to all of our community partners, all of our volunteers who truly, contribute. And especially if you do it for, and with Extended Resident Training Center, thank you especially. So next Thursday, Ms. Kim, your version of Aladdin.
Our center's version of Aladdin, our guys' version of Aladdin.
Yeah, you're being the collective view. Yeah.
Yep. Yes. Yeah, 7 p.m. at the Harquail Theatre. Yeah, and I was thinking during the break, we were just mentioning partnering with the center. There's so many people that I have to say thank you to. Speech Studio, which is a new speech therapy provider in Cayman, have actually given time. We don't have a speech therapist on staff. And so they've actually worked with our staff to learn how to use switch technology and augmentative communication devices for some of our guys that have difficulty with speaking. So everybody gets a part, everybody has a part in the play, everybody has a chance to say what they need to say. So we're excited to include technology as part of that as well. And you were asking about riding on the magic carpet earlier on. Now let me tell you, we have a gentleman by the name of Mr. Scott Dangerfield and one of our own staff, Mr. Crafton Ebanks. Both of them are woven textile specialists and aviation engineers. So in normal parlance, that would be magic carpet special extraordinaire special effects guys. So
we know Crafton. He is amazing.
He is amazing. Yeah. So that's great. Our program manager, Mr. Ross Kelly, has been working on his best Arabian dance. So something for everybody.
If there was nothing else that you would want to see, I get seen Ross on stage. I think that is going to be key. I'm glad that you didn't bring him because we don't take away from.
It has been the feat of my life, and I'm proud to say that it was successful.
Yeah. I think people need to come to see that. I mean, who said that Ross can't jump?
So no, but I mean more than being proud of staff, I think all those that I've listed would just band together and say how proud they are of the incredible amount of work and effort that's been put in by these 3 wonderful fine clients that we have here in the studio with you, and of course with Stephanie and the team that's been directing, but all of the clients, everybody's just been doing their best, and we are so excited to bring our show to the public.
All right, well, that's Kim LeVaud, the director of the Sunrise, and then the play director for this Sunrise's version of Aladdin is Stephanie Rattan. Now, I know you have, Matthew and Mercedes, and together with Tamika, the A-listers who are going to be sharing with us, from Aladdin, to the Genie, to Jasmine. through you, perhaps get them to share with us some more. It's next Thursday, right?
It's next Thursday, yeah. And where is it again, Mercedes? Where are we having our play?
You got to say it. You remember?
I also remember everything.
Yeah, and we're having it at the Harquail.
We were having No, I will try again.
Go ahead.
We were having a great, wonderful day out at the Harquail Theater.
Yes, and we start our big rehearsals there tomorrow. So we're going to be working really hard over the next week, putting it all together to be at the Harquail Theater. And I know that Tamika's super excited. It's her first time, and she's taking a lead role. And I'm so proud of her for all of the work that she's putting into it. Not just that she's at the center, but like at home. I know she's rehearsing those lines. Yeah. Yeah, and I know you were telling about a favorite scene that you have.
Yes, at the marketplace.
Yeah. What happens at the marketplace?
We back up and he say, first time at the marketplace.
Yeah, it's when you meet Aladdin.
Yeah.
It's their little meet cute.
Aww. And the romance blossoms. That's it. I've never, strangely enough, I've never watched Aladdin. It's been on the screen many times, and I'm thinking, no, I just never. It's not a book, right? So I just. So this time I think I should actually.
Definitely.
This is the only version that matters.
Yeah, I mean $10 and you're in.
Like I said to the listeners, and we have a strong financial sector, so they know this is a good deal. One ticket for 10, you can get for $1,000, you can get 100 tickets.
It's amazing.
So that's not a bad deal.
Yeah. It's not a bad deal at all.
And if you really, really want to do the math, you can get $1,000 and get one ticket. That's even better.
And I would do that as fast as you can, because
yeah.
year after year we've had sold out theaters, standing room only, and the day of we have people calling like, I didn't call in time. So make sure to call as soon as you can. 949-3330 is the center's number. You can reserve tickets. We will arrange payment and drop off. Just let us know as soon as you can.
All right. And I think for many people too, it's always a reason, very justifiable. We got school, whether we're the parent dropping or we ourselves are going to school, and we've got homework, we've got work and other commitments, we've got dinner to prepare, and we say, well, 7 o'clock, and how long is the play? But yet we'll sit sometimes and 2 hours later getting some thing at the salon or whatever it is and don't realize it, right?
That or anybody now with their phones. These are the biggest time drawers of a lot of our time.
Time
right?
wasters, huh?
Well, I wasn't going to say that, but
I did.
Yeah.
The one-eye monster.
Yeah.
Man. All right.
Yeah.
So 7 to midnight, right? I think it is.
Well,
I mean, I would say
maybe for me, maybe for us for cleanup.
Our runtime might vary for an hour and a half to 2 hours maximum. We try to keep it reasonable for the evening, and also know that we have an intermission in the middle of our show, so people can purchase the beautiful crafts that our clients have been making on sale. They've been making decorative pieces as well as some jewelry items. So make sure to bring cash for those transactions. There'll also be like snacks and drinks for the intermission. Yeah.
And it's a play at the Harquail. It's an evening out, and no matter, so
it's fine for families as well.
Exactly.
Wonderful family entertainment.
Exactly. Yeah. If it's okay, so Miss Mercedes, could we maybe speak to you again and ask you about it? You're as Miss Stephanie was sharing, you're practicing, you're doing your rehearsals, you're going through it. Tell us about it. How much fun was that?
We were having... No, let me try again. We were having a great, wonderful day off at the Harquail Theater.
You're excited to go to the Harquail Theater, aren't you? Yeah, it's good. It's going to be good to practice there.
Yeah, and your favorite song is that you've been singing and recorded in our studio.
I was singing
Remember the name of it?
And I was dancing.
You were.
Oh, wow.
Mercedes, do you remember the name of your song? What's the name of your song?
Arabian Nights. A friend.
Friendly.
No, let me try again.
Yeah.
Arabian Nights, Friend Like Me.
Yep.
And Prince Ali.
Yeah. Tough songs.
Yeah.
Tough songs.
Lots of lyrics. It's really
fast words, like fast music.
She's done such a good job.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, I'm really always, I say this and I say this sincerely, that when we have shows, we have our guests come in and we talk, right? And Mr. Mika, to you and your colleagues, I know it's lunchtime. I know that you're busy doing things, so I'm honored that you'd come in. But for all who are listening, this takes a lot, to coordinate your schedules. So I'm really grateful that you come and share. Could we ask Matthew, as you're listening and as you're preparing, Matthew, anything you want to say, maybe to Mummy or to anyone who are listening and about coming to you to watch you be Aladdin next week?
A whole new world.
A whole new world, eh?
Whole new world.
If I could sing good, I would say let's you and I sing together, but I don't think I sound like I was singing. It's a whole new world, eh?
Yes.
Do you remember any of your song? Do you want to sing a couple little bits of it?
Yes.
You want to?
Yes.
Go for it.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under, on a magic carpet ride, a whole new world.
There you go.
So good.
A new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're on dreaming all new world.
A dazzling place I never knew, but when I'm way up here, it's crystal clear. But now I'm in a whole new world with you.
Now I'm in a whole new world.
We could go on and on.
Awesome.
But that's a sneak preview of Thursday.
Come if you want to hear the rest.
Honestly, if you present, a bill to Miss Norma for this, I could understand why our budget could be exhausted to pay for the such talent.
Yes.
No, but this is why, and thank you, Matthew and Tamika, for sharing, because the listening public need to appreciate that this is amazing, incredible talent.
Yeah. It's a lot of heart and a lot of confidence. I mean, I remember the first time I came on radio eons ago to talk to you. I remember feeling weak in the knees and thinking, oh my gosh, this is so...
What was it, because you saw me yourself?
Well, partly.
Just weak in the knees, I'll tell your mom that.
No, but, it takes courage to
For those who are listening,
right?
choose family.
Yeah. But, it does take courage to come on air. Right? So, and I'm so proud of these guys. This is just a sneak preview of the courage that it takes to be on stage in front of lots and lots of people. So, you guys are amazing. You bring it every single day, and we're so proud of you, Tamika and Mercedes and Matthew and all of the clients. A lot of them are listening, I think, at the center. So, hi, everybody.
Hi.
And even we're grateful as well for the support our ministry has given us. We're in a new facility. We have
that's a whole new world.
Whole new world, right? That's a whole new world for us this year since we moved over to Eden House. We've moved our recording studio as well, and so the song that you heard just now sung. I mean, this is the raw, uncut version, but we've had a chance to record it properly and professionally and edit it, and so we've even had, by the way, this is a hot exclusive. So for your listeners only,
thank you.
We have a guest star of the highest caliber who's done some guest voice recording. I don't know if he'll be attending this year, but His Excellency Governor, Mr. Martin Roper, has recorded a very special addition to our play that will be part of it. So come and hear.
And I'm sure he'll love me to attempt the joke, say, despite his performance, still come. No, but that shows the love that people have and the appreciation and reminder.
Right.
He's
grateful that he is such a good sport, and he's such a good friend of the center. So we're thankful for that. Yeah.
Very. I'm hope he doesn't mind, because I have great respect not just for his office but for him, and to see his participation in the Pirates Fest, to see his immediate, very obvious humility that he exhibits, and the love and the genuine commitment, concern to his role, but to the country. And if he can do that, and
If he
hopefully
can
by
take
example,
part and lead
we
by
need to
example.
do the same.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's amazing. I know.
Yeah, I think just when I think about the effect our play has on the center, I think one of the things that I'm always most humbled by or proud of, happy about, is the way that it does bring everybody in. It really is a communal project. It's something that the whole center has to pitch in to achieve.
Right.
It's, again, like an opportunity to bring in people from the community that generally wouldn't necessarily have any reason to interact with Sunrise. And it's so important and to celebrate the fact that we all come together. We talk about needing a village to raise a child, and we need a community to come together to solve problems. We need, we're all always better together, right? So right. and our shows for 8 years running now, it's a chance for Cayman community to come together to support clients who might not necessarily have a chance otherwise to be on stage, so it's bringing our talents of our talented clients to the public as well, reminding people of their talents and skills, and hopefully eventually, there's no reason why maybe we'll have Tamika as part of Rundown one year. You never know, right?
She might be producing it, directing it.
Mercedes might be having a job on Radio Cayman and reading the evening news. You never know.
Well, you know what? That would be awesome. And it can happen, right? The right commitment and support.
Right.
So we have the final break. When we come back, remind us of all the details, including how to get tickets, and then next week. And during the break, I'll make a quick call, see if I can figure something out. Can get my funds transferred so I can buy my tickets. But I'm hoping it'll be good. And honestly, it's a standing room only, so get our tickets early. All right, we're going to pause and take that break. When we come back, more Talk Today.
And the whole island is one big party, party, party.
Grand Cayman Pirates Fest is here. Taking over Seafarers Way. Saturday, November 12th, Georgetown events start at 1 p.m. with the cardboard boat race and water mermaids showcase. The pirates storm the streets at 3 p.m. followed by the float parade, national song and heritage costume competition, and fireworks show at 9 p.m. A full Saturday of thrills for the entire family, including 8 hours of food festival. Saturday, November 12th, the party takes over Seafarers Way. Afternoon till night. Come for lunch, party a bunch, and pirate the night away.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
J&M Money touching down again. Now you can send your US dollars at any location on island, including the BRAC. It's easy. Just walk with your US dollars. No need to convert to CI. This is another convenient service available at J&M Money. They always find a way to make it easier and hassle-free. So remember, when you need to send your money and you only have US dollars, don't ever think of what to do. Just head straight to any J&M Money location and send your money the fast, convenient, and affordable J&M Money. J&M Money, touching down again. J&M Money, ranga to la friend.
Come celebrate 53 years with big savings. Brand Source Home Gallery invites you to their 53rd anniversary sale. 1 week only, November 7th to 12th. Save up to 40% off store-wide. Sale discounts on appliances, lighting and fans, faucets, sinks, kitchen cabinets, custom closets, mattresses, housewares, and more. Come get inspired by inspiring luxury as Brand Source Home Gallery celebrates 53 years with a sale till November 12th. 209 Dorsey Drive in Industrial Park. Call 623-5000.
Did you know that ValueMed Pharmacy has a free online prescription service? Managing your health and medical requirements has never been easier with ValueMed. Simply visit value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com and click the Refill Prescriptions tab on our website. Fill in the information for new prescriptions or refills and choose your preferred pickup location. ValueMed on Walkers Road or Bodden Town. Then bring in your original prescription from your doctor when picking up. There's no need to stand in line and wait for your prescription. Save time and pick up prescriptions at your convenience by visiting value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com.
I've got some beautiful clothes. I know just where they go. Puritan Cleaners.
Puritan Cleaners, now using the most popular and eco-friendly cleaning solvents. 2 convenient locations to serve you: Savannah Countryside and Eastern Avenue, Georgetown. Drive-through, rain or shine, free pickup and delivery services available. Call Puritan Cleaners 949-7104. Also ask about our in-house discounts. Puritan Cleaners, you feel good when you look good.
Puritan Cleaners, 949-7104. That's 949-7104.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and thanks too for the distinct pleasure to really have a chance to chat, to Miss Kim as the director, the center advisor at the Training Center, together with Stephanie as play director. The center's version of Aladdin next Thursday, right?
Next Thursday.
All right. Yes. And as much as it's fun to see and speak to both of you, I'm honored to have the stars in the studio, from Mercedes to Tamika to Matthew, whether they're playing the genie, Jasmine or Aladdin. That's more than I can probably have done, right? So, to you and through you, Miss Kim, perhaps Miss Mercedes may want to share.
Mercedes, do you have something to say?
Have no fear. The genie is here.
That's it. Genie in the house, especially next week Thursday.
You're bringing down the house.
And Tamika, during the break, you were just mentioning something about this past year being so different and full of new adventure.
Yes, this show has been a challenge for me, and it really brings me closer to the community and, to show them what I'm made of.
That's it.
And the school is a big change for me.
Yeah.
I have to thank my cousin Jimzette. She's away, and I don't know if she'll be able to, get to listen to the show. Whatever I get, I would give it to her. I'm sure
in gratitude. She was saying how much she was appreciative that Jimzette helped her to come to the center.
Yeah. And if it's okay, I know that was shared off air with, Ms. Tamika's sort of participation in the program.
Mm-hmm.
And that inspired me because I think that in our community, for too long, we haven't appreciated the importance of inclusion. We haven't appreciated how it's important to show the respect, to show the access. And there's Ms. Tamika listen to the talk show and makes her calls and contributions, right? And so if she can do that, understand the importance of getting involved, to attend in the center, to being part of the play, perhaps take the lead of His Excellency and say, no office, no person is that important that we can't give her ourselves, our time,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, we're excited for all of our guys, and Matthew's doing a fantastic job as Aladdin as well. He has brought a lot of gusto, a lot of energy to his lines. Got a song that's one jump ahead, right, Matthew? Yeah, lots of energy, lots of running away from guards. Yeah. Do you have any final things to say? Would you like to invite people to come?
Yes, sir.
Tell them about the play. When is it?
Tickets are $10.
Mm-hmm. And it's on
Thursday, 17th November.
At the
Hardcore Theater.
Starts at?
Yes, it starts at 7 p.m.
Yeah,
awesome.
All of the most important details. So come on out, guys.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that we as a community would appreciate how much it is to motivate, how important it is to appreciate, and how absolutely essential it is, to get involved, to engage.
Yeah.
And wow, if I wasn't having a great day, you would make it exceptional. I was having an awesome day, and you've made it even more.
Well,
amazing.
as a final offer, if you want a part in the play, we still have room in the Prince Ali crowd scene. You can come. I've got some extra scarves. I even have a bugle. If you have breath in your body, you can bugle. So
Thank God for the breath. I can get my bugle on.
You could, if you wish.
That would be amazing, huh?
Yeah.
I think, you know.
You message me after this time on the radio and let me know.
Yeah.
So, public, you've heard it here. You may have a guest star, another one in the works. Sterling, Dwayne, and Ebanks may trod the boards on Thursday, 17th of November.
You're serious, yeah?
I'm serious.
Absolutely. We will.
Yeah.
We've had new clients coming in, and everybody gets a part. I can write you in.
You can write me in?
Yes.
You know what? This sounds like something that.
All right. I'm so excited now.
I appreciate it, and it wasn't that you sort of put you in the spot. It was just like just a demonstration of inclusion.
Totally.
Right? All right. Well,
I have faith in you. You can do this. I have faith in
I'm
you. Just
so
as
glad
I have.
because you have.
Yeah.
and that's what it takes. And someone can to believe in you. I believe in you, Matthew. You can do this, man.
And we
Right?
know all of our guys.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh my! And I'm hoping that will come up. So how do we get tickets, Miss Kim?
All right. So give us a call, 949-3330. There's also an event that's been posted on our Facebook page. So you can direct message the socials, whether in Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah, so Instagram is at Sunrise Adult Training Center, and our Facebook page is Sunrise Adult Training Center. Just search for us there. All the contact details are there, and the event is there as well.
Yep.
Easy to get in touch.
Tickets are selling like hotcakes, like
a sour cake at Christmas.
Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, like I don't know, a special Arabian Turkish delight. So it's they're fine. So call now and get your tickets for next week, Thursday, the 17th of November.
All right.
Yep.
At the Hartwheel,
Hartwheel
7
Theatre,
p.m.
7 p.m. Aladdin.
All right.
Sunrise is Aladdin.
Thank you, and to Miss Stephanie. Matthew, thank you especially for coming.
Thank you, especially for coming.
Yes, thank you so
Thank you
much.
for having us here.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Yeah,
And
I look
thanks,
forward
Mr.
to seeing my family there. Those that I'm invited.
All right. And Miss Mercedes, thank you too, Mom, for coming. And God's willing, thank you for the invitation. I'll be a part of it next Thursday. Now, to the listening public, please don't stay away just because I might be getting my bugle on. Still come, okay?
Sounds great.
All right.
Can't wait to see you there.
Thank
you
you.
again.
I have my my entourage, my agents. Get in touch with your people.
Your agents can call your people can call our people.
There you go, Paul. Make a note. All right, next Thursday, please get your tickets. Hartwell, 7 p.m. for the only version of Aladdin that matters. If any production that the Sunrise Adult Training Center puts on, that's the one to see. All right, we're gonna pause. Excellent company of Mr. Steve McPhail, who's gonna come in and sit us. That honorary doctorate is only fitting into the man of his intellect, his interest in his community, his great insight and the enthusiasm he brings. So we're going to have a chance to chat with him about immigration, a gentleman that I honestly love, admire, and respect greatly. So honored to have him. Welcome. So to our listeners, please join us after the break.
Follow Radio K-Man on Twitter. All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Follow us at twitter.com/Radio K-Man.
Today's biggest news.
Radio K-Man. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is headlines from Radio K-Man's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. The Department of Vehicle and Driver's Licensing advises the public that all of its offices will be closed on Thursday, November 10th, 2022, to facilitate a staff meeting and training workshop. All offices of DVDL will resume business as usual on Friday, November 11th. In international news, U.S. transport officials have roasted a passenger online after they were caught trying to smuggle a gun onto a plane by hiding it inside a raw chicken. The foul plot was cracked by Transportation Security Administration officers at Florida's Fort Lauderdale Hollywood Airport. The traveler's weapon was spotted before boarding stuffed inside the bird and wrapped in paper packaging. TSA officers joked on Instagram that the scheme wasn't even half-baked. The UK government has paid out for the deaths of at least 4 times as many Afghan children than it has previously admitted to. Compensation payments have been issued for 64 children rather than the 16 publicly acknowledged. All were killed in fighting involving UK forces between 2006 and 2014. The new figures come from Freedom of Information requests made by the charity Action on Armed Violence. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. For the latest in news and information,
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette, brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Born in Creek, Cayman Brac on the 25th of September 1939, Henry Mansfield Connolly was the third of 8 children for Henry Kitchener and Olive Connolly, an experienced seaman with 30-plus years with national bulk carriers and doing ship-to-ship oil transfers off the Brac during the 1980s. He was also the founder of C&H Plumbing and an original band member of the famous Brac Beach Boys. During his time home from sea, he studied the art of catboat making and assisted his late grandfather-in-law, Mr. Arthur Dilbert, with the building of many catboats. Mr. Connolly loved serving in the community and was a volunteer during hurricane emergencies and assisted with the hurricane preparations, especially seeing to the safety of the elderly and the community. He would often share his fishing catch with friends and neighbors and bring Christmas gifts for the elderly. He was married to Elmitha Dilbert for 60 years and has 4 children, 5 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette, brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Hello, Cayman Islands. This is Carly Davis. Come and enjoy an evening of thanksgiving and praise at Cayman Gospel Fest on Saturday, November 19th at the Lions Center. Come see Cayman's best performers and church choirs. My band and I will be there. Admission is free. See you Saturday, November 19th at the Lions Center with Cayman Gospel Fest. You cannot afford to miss it. Yes, come out and let's have fun together.
Brought to you by the Progressives, celebrating 20 years of service to the Cayman Islands.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks again for the opportunity. And as we get into this discussion, I'm really looking forward to not only because of the topic, but because of the excellent company, and with great respect to our chief officer, he'll join me in saying that we have the opportunity to speak with and to Mr. Steve Mikefield. That itself is a distinct pleasure. So, Mr. Mikefield, good afternoon, sir. Thank you for not just the energy and the enthusiasm, but for what I believe is very evident when God's hand, grace, and mercy allows us to participate and to contribute. And I pray publicly, and I hope this is sincere in my words as I feel in my heart, or in my heart as it is in my words, that God will continue to bless you and men like you with the strength, the presence of mind, the character, the integrity, the humility, the respect, the resolve to serve our country. You remind us sometimes that you're closer to 100 than you are to 50. But we look at you and we think, man, it looks like he could be easily 26. So, welcome, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir, Mr. Sterling Dwayne, and good afternoon to my colleague here with me from the ministry. We're here to talk about a review that's coming, that is in progress, and changes that may come. It depends on what they final report of the review. So we're here to talk about the review of the permanent residence point system in the Cayman Islands. That's part of the Immigration Transition Law 2021. The government is concerned about that, and Mr. Howell is the chief officer in the portfolio of the ministry that's in charge of immigration and border controls, and the ministry has appointed me as chairman of that review committee. We've had about 4 meetings now, Mr. Howell. Is that correct?
A bit more than that. I think we're going on 6. I think this week will be number 7.
We've had about 6 meetings now. We are supposed to render a report at the end of the year to the cabinet, to the ministry, and it's very important, very serious, because I think the government is concerned about the numbers, and everything is numbers, and the space that we have to accommodate people. And we only have everything is finite. We don't have infinite life land surface here like in America and Canada and all those other large countries, England and so forth. And so I think the government is quite concerned about that. And as a result, the government has put a committee together to review the point system that leads towards permanent residence. So what I would like to do, with your permission, was to read some of the terms of reference in which the government has given to us to review. The background of the committee says since 2004, permanent residence in the Cayman Islands has been awarded by way of a point system. And so the purpose of the committee is to review the statutory provisions and processes that regulate the granting of permanent residence in the Cayman Islands and make recommendations to Cabinet in support of the aims set out below. Review and recommend changes to the criteria, factors, in brackets, and weighing of points available in respect of each factor in the permanent residence point system. And the objects. The overall aims of this review are to 1. Create an improved system for granting permanent residence by redefining the assessment criteria for the grant of permanent residence so that they align with the government's economic, cultural, and social objectives, and to ensure that the selection process is both transparent and fair to all applicants and who have truly integrated into the Cayman community. And 2, identify and make proposals for addressing anomalies, oversights, and weaknesses in the provisions relating to permanent residence as contained in Part 6 of the Immigration Transition Act 2022 revision and the Immigration Regulations 2019 revision. And 3, make recommendations for improvements to the appeals process so that appeals to the Immigration Appeals Tribunal are disposed of faster. And then, of course, there's the scope of responsibilities, and I will relate some of those. A, the committee shall formulate a revised permanent residence point system containing criteria that A, take the applicant's character into account, B, reflect the government's economic and social policy objectives, C, take into account views of the public garnered through broad public consultation. There will be public consultation after this radio broadcast. And D, do not have the effect of excluding any particular class of residents from the possibility of becoming a permanent resident. And E, ensure that future permanent residents, 1, have particular qualifications and or expertise that the islands needs to attract and retain. And 2, are directly involved in the training, mentoring, development of Caymanians and recognize the importance of the continuation of such training and development. And 3, have the skill set and expertise that is not already available in adequate measures in the islands and will not be in the foreseeable future, so as to prevent positions from being permanently blocked for Caymanians who are currently in the workforce or will shortly qualify to take such jobs. And 4, are of long-term social and economic benefits to the islands and who have shown a clear willingness to accept and embrace the Caymanian values and cultures. And the committee shall also devise the revised permanent residence point system so that it is transparent to the extent that a prospective applicant for permanent residence should be capable of accurately assessing himself against the criteria other than in respect of the deductible components. And the committee shall also review the provisions of the Immigration Law 2022 revision and Immigration Regulations 2019 revision relating to permanent residence in order to identify and make recommendations for addressing any anomalies and weaknesses that currently exist. And D, the committee shall also review the statutory provisions relating to appeals to the Immigration Appeals Tribunal and make recommendations for improvements in the appeals process, which will allow for the early identification within 3 weeks of application and disposal of appeals. For new appeals under this regime that have no realistic chance of success and which have been submitted solely to facilitate continued residence by taking advantage of a heavily backlogged system. Allow for new appeals under this regime to be processed within 3 months of submissions, taking into account any current backlog of appeals waiting to be heard by the Immigration Appeals Tribunal. And the committee may also review any area it feels relevant to further advance the government's intent of improving the immigration system. So you see, it is a complete overhaul of the road to permanent residence as set out now in the Immigration Transition Act 2021 revision.
In listening to that, and certainly Chief Officer Hole, want maybe help through you to maybe a couple of things. First off, understand, just even a cursory understanding of the present point system from what Mr. Ifield has shared, to make it more transparent. It would appear that there is some confusion, potentially some inherent bias, and hopefully not directly, but even discrimination is referenced in all classes of people being eligible. Would it help to appreciate how many points you need? What is the present point system? What does that look like?
So the present point system takes into consideration a number of factors. Community service, occupation, the investment in the islands, connections to Cayman, be that through family members or dependents and others. So there's 110 points that has to be met to make that that cut, and there's a sort of frame of mind that persons who are in the higher socioeconomic brackets are more easily able to attain those points. If folks remember, there were some issues around the point system when it first came in, primarily around the occupation factor, and there was a bit of an impasse, a legal impasse. That was resolved with an interim solution, which remains to this day, in that everybody gets full points for occupation, so that one factor isn't properly implemented. So that's one of the things that this committee would have to turn its attention to, if indeed the occupation, sort of rareness of the occupation, the value to the Caymanian society, and the number of Caymanians that are in that field are all factors that need to be taken into account in the future. Then we would need to devise a a mechanism for that factor to come into play. So if you're some, very specialist skill that is scarce worldwide and scarce here, that occupation may get additional factors, additional points. If you're in one of the occupations that we have lots and lots of people available, then that may get less points because the priority of that occupation is lower. So that's one of the areas that is in there.
Okay, and maybe for my edification, so that when I speak to people, I can at least say, "Yep, I'm on the page with you. I know you have it wrong." There was contention that if you own property, that contributed favorably towards your point system. Is that the case?
It is, and as it is now currently set out, there is a formula that is used to sort of quantify the investment in real estate based on your means. So if you are earning, $500,000 a year and you buy a $50,000 piece of land, if you can find that,
let me know.
then that would count less than somebody who earns $30,000 a year investing in a $50,000 piece of land, because a much more significant portion of their salary over.
So the weighted,
it would be weighted based upon means. Age distribution was also in there, and the history and culture test, which is part of folks knowing something about Cayman. Education and training is another one, and then there's some deductible bits as well. It will also take into consideration the diversity of the population in relation to nationality. So the nationalities that are more highly represented in the islands get less points than those that have less. So sort of driving for a diversity of nationalities as well. So those are all the current points that are within the 10 factors that are there now.
Well, I listed top 3 and you referenced, land, age, and nationality. So age was there old, and there was some expression to me that the age factor had been addressed, where inherently it seemed there was a discrimination against older folks. Just for clarity, can you sort of speak to that briefly?
In any, that factor is seeking to look at, one, how long the person has been working within the islands, and then essentially how close they are to retirement.
Right.
And the key factors there, from a policy perspective, is are we
age in society
and allowing individuals who have the means to take care of themselves in retirement to get in this the PR process that would then lead down the road to the right to be Caymanian. So if the person isn't, and this is sort of in common with countries around the world that are looking at persons becoming citizenships. Essentially, most countries would try to avoid individuals that would become a burden on the state for the longer periods of time. So,
and before I ask Mr. Steve to be back in, Mr. Howell, just one question. We hear citizenship, we hear status, and the partner residency. So just status, Cayman status and citizenship. Are they one and the same? Are they different? And
so I would ask the difference to Mr. Chairman that, because he wears a number of hats, and the other hat that he wears is
nice pun, sir.
So he's actually the chairman of the CSPR board. So his weekly task is to lead the team that reviews applications for the right to be Caymanian, applications for variations on work permit, on PR right to work issues, and permanent residency as well. Okay. So that's his his expertise in relation to that, and he's dealing with sort of live issues on a week to week basis. Okay. So he's absolutely the best place to answer that.
Well,
skilled civil servant.
For your answer, there's not such thing as Cayman citizenship. That is a misnomer, and it's a fantasy.
Yep.
The law speaks to something called Caymanian status, and there's no definition of it in the Constitution, and the only definition of it it says that Cayman status is what the immigration law say it is. And so you have to go back to the immigration transition law to say it is. And when you go there, it says that you have Cayman status from different ways of descent. by marriage, by grant. So you have to put yourself in one of those categories. A lot of Caymanians who were born here, or parents of Caymanians, they would be known as people call them the traditional Caymanians. But you and Mr. Howell, all of us only have what they call Caymanian status. But the right to live and work in Cayman. But there's not such a thing called Caymanian citizenship, because we're not independent. We're still overseas country and territory. We're colonial island, so to speak.
So,
but coming back to what Mr. Howell said, one of the anomalies in the point system that we have today is the property ownership, develop property ownership. And when I look at that, this is what it says. It says that maximum points will automatically be awarded where the total investment and property is exceeds $500,000. So you see the one-sidedness of the point system that we have today. Now, just for an example, a bank manager or an accountant who is working in the islands and are making over $200,000 or $300,000 a year, or making $1 million a year, immediately they can qualify to be a permanent resident. But for instance, take his gardener, who is cleaning his car, who is taking out the garbage, who is looking after the house and doing all the stuff. He's providing also a service, as the bank manager is providing to his client. The gardener is providing service to the bank manager and his family as well. But who do you think would qualify first for permanent residence, the bank manager or the gardener? The gardener is probably only making $6 or $7 an hour, and the reality is that he mostly is from another country, because that is something that Caymanians seem not to want to do. He's from another country where he has a split family. He has a family. He has himself here, and he has a family overseas, whether it's in Jamaica or Honduras or Thailand or Philippines. He has to send money over there to take care of them, and he has to pay his rent here and probably have a car and have to buy food here. So he will never be in a position to save not even the deposit on a $500,000 property. So he has to try to get permanent residence from the points, the number of points, as you heard Mr. Howell said, 110 points from somewhere else. So even when he receives those points from somewhere else, for instance, from being here for a long time, having a skill, having some sort of Caymanian connections, and so forth, and he gets it, how is he going to maintain himself in the country, as Mr. Howell has said, after he retires, when he's a permanent resident? Do you think that the pension that he will be getting and the salary he'll be getting can maintain himself? Can maintain themselves after he has retired in Cayman? I doubt it. That's something that we have to look after really carefully, because in the long run, the bank manager and the accountant is able to provide himself good funds in a gated community and provide services for himself, but this other person have to provide services for them. And that is something that we have to look after real carefully.
All right. So when we come back from the break, let's continue the discussion. We want to maybe understand more where we are, perhaps ask a few questions. We invite the listeners to stay tuned. Join us after the break.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Tune in Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. for the Daily Sports Report, covering local, regional, and international sports. Proudly brought to you by Dr. Wayne Porter, offering a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab. Blood test, x-ray, and mammogram, all of that is MedLab. Affordable fees and friendly service, a full professional team. MedLab is always comfortable, MedLab is always clean. For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
The 6:30 p.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by CG Britcay. Insurance, health, pensions, life, where people come first.
And the whole island is one big party, party, party.
Grand Cayman Pirates Fest is here. Taking over Seafarers Way. Saturday, November 12th, Georgetown events start at 1 p.m. with the cardboard boat race and water mermaids showcase. The Pirates storm the streets at 3 p.m. followed by the float parade, national song and heritage costume competition, and fireworks show at 9 p.m. A full Saturday of thrills for the entire family, including 8 hours of food festival. Saturday, November 12th, the party takes over Seafarers Way. Afternoon till night. Come for lunch, party a bunch, and pirate the night away.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and thanks to Mr. Steve McField, as today, wearing one of his many hats, the chairman of the PR Points, review committee, the chief officer in the responsible ministry, Mr. Wesley Howell. I don't know, so I think the only other person that probably wear more hats than Mr. Steve is probably you. But today, thank you for joining us as well. And to our listeners, Mr. McField and Mr. Howell will only be with us until 2 o'clock. Unlike the rest of us, they got to go for lunch. No, just kidding. We take our work to do. Mr. Steve, in asking and listening to you, I want to ask maybe 2 things. There seems to be over the years a perception that because someone has been here on a work permit for 10 years, 20 years, however long, that they've been, contributing to society, hopefully benefiting from it as well, that somehow that tenure, that period of time that they've been here, automatically should translate into a right to, more secure tenure and become a citizen or a status holder. I'm not quite sure how to ask it, but it seems to be that just because you place for a period of time, that automatically gives you some right to own that space. Any perspective on that?
That is how it is now under the current law in which people come to work. It has always been my opinion that a work permit should be what it is. Mm-hmm. It's a permission to work.
It's a license, huh?
It's a license to work.
Mm-hmm.
There should be some other criteria towards permanent residence and status.
Mm-hmm.
A person now who comes into the island on a work permit, right now under the law, once he stays the 8 years, the term limit, 8 to 9 years, he has a right to apply for permanent residence.
A
right to apply to permanent residence. He has a right to apply for permanent residence. In fact, if he doesn't apply for permanent residence, he has to leave. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
He has to leave the island. If he doesn't apply for permanent residence, he has to leave the island.
Mm-hmm.
Because the term limit says that he has to leave. He cannot work beyond the 8 to 9 years.
And because of the backlog in the system, is it that time that, whether it's another month or another 5 years, that time while this application is being processed and in appeals, does that also count to the 8 now becomes 5 years later, 13?
Well, once he appeals, once he applies, then he's given time to stay on the island to see whether or not the application is going to be successful.
Right.
That takes another problem for the department, for us. And once he gets the 110 points, some people walk the dogs for community service. Some people are able to get the points by having Cayman connection. Once he gets the 110 points, then he has permanent residence. And once he has permanent residence, then he's on a road. There's no way you can stop him then from becoming obtaining Caymanian status unless he commits an offense or something like that.
Okay.
Now, there are many ways in which to acquire the status very quickly. He can get married. He can marry a Caymanian, or he can apply. He can get naturalized under the British Nationality Act. That is a fast way to get it. But once he gets that, there's no way to stop him from attaining the main goal is to obtain Caymanian status. Some people say Caymanian citizenship, obtain Cayman status. That should not be the criteria.
Right.
A work permit should not be the criteria of why a person which is able to get to do that.
Right.
A work permit should be what it is.
So,
and I'll just give you this example as I've given my other committee members. Many years ago in Philadelphia, the Philadelphia hospitals were short of nurses, and they hired a lot of nurses from New Zealand and from Australia, over 500 of them. For 5 years, I think it was 4 or 5 years. And when the time was up, they applied to stay in to get permanent residence. The states and the immigration says, no, I'm sorry. It doesn't lead that. You have to go back to your country and you have to apply under the system in which we have for type of permanent residence. You cannot get it because you are here working. That does not lead to it. That is a problem that we have here. And then if we continue what we're doing now, every person who's on a work permit now, when they reached the term limit age, would have the right to apply for permanent residence.
Can we just ask, just for clarity, because it is an emotive issue. It is probably one laden with much confusion. People are not quite sure. And I'm not going to pretend that I understand it. So let me ask two things. There was a rollover, I think that's what we called it. Is that system still in place?
Yes, 10 years.
Right.
I mean, 8 to 9 years.
Yeah. So that's essentially what the chairman was talking about earlier. So a person who is on work permit or otherwise, it could be student visa or some other facility, when they get to year 8, they're eligible to apply for permanent residency. If they get to year 9 and they're not successful or they don't apply, then their term limit kick in and there's no avenue for them to get another work permit beyond that, except for a couple of extreme cases. So that person would have to take the rollover period, which is currently a year, and they break their residency, their stay at that point, and for them to be able to come back to the islands, then they would have to be successful in requesting and securing another work permit.
Right. And it's work permit as well as a student visa.
There's some of the immigration facilities that are there.
Right.
Even persons married to Caymanian could choose to go down the 8-year route and apply for permanent residency on their own right through that points facility, as opposed to the spouse of a Caymanian or spouse of a PR holder in that regard.
Right. As well as a spouse of PR holder.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not semantics, and so I think words have great import. Mr. McPhee, you said this now where it may have surprised some people. they have a right. They don't just have the option. There's a right. That's in their law.
Yes, in the law.
Right?
The law allows them to do so.
Yeah. And if they, for whatever reason, don't know that, or they choose not to exercise it, as Mr. Howard has explained, year 8, then between year 9, then there's some subject to. Okay, so that's clear. The reason why I want to ask that, the right, again, and I don't want to harp on that, but from what I understand, from what has been explained to me, that's a significant thing. It's a right, as we understand it. But the right to work and the right to be Caymanian, again, that word right, seems to have caused some confusion with some people. And it's not, is it just the word we use, or just like the right to apply? Is it the same sort of status in that right to be Caymanian and right to work?
What I don't get that.
In the sense that, I thank you, because I'm trying to be.
So if I can help you,
Yeah.
if I can help you up here. So the right to work come in,
Yes,
in various forms. You could have the right to work through a government contract, in which case you're exempted from work permit because the government contract is your right to work. You could have a permanent residency facility with the right to work, and that right to work is for persons on a work permit that move through to PR and are successful. They then are granted permanent residency with the right to work in that particular application that was on their application at the time. They pay the annual fees that is equivalent to the work permit for that same thing. So that continues on at that point. Other facility to work would be the residence employment right certificate that is available to spouses of Caymanians and permanent residents. So the PR one has the right to work, fee attached. The spouses of Caymanians has no fee attached, so they're allowed to work in any industry for any employer without attracting a fee. But the PR avenue has the work permit related fees to it. So that's sort of the right to work bit. So from that, we have permanent residency, and that comes in several forms. There's several what we call products in relation to that. And then the PR points and the right to be Caymanian, the RERC, the persons married to Caymanians, then have a pathway to apply for their immigration status to become a Caymanian status, or a person that has the right to be Caymanian. But to be clear, it is an immigration status, it's not citizenship.
Right.
Citizenship is actually British Overseas Territory citizen, which is the same as it would be for someone from BVI or TCI. We're all governed by the British Nationality Act, which is UK legislation which grants our citizenship, not
immigration,
not anything domestic.
Right.
Yes, and take into account also that once you come on a work permit and you enter into a marriage or partnership or civil partnership with a Caymanian, your work permit ceases, because you haven't to be able to continue working. You have to now apply for permanent residences with a right to work under the permanent residency scheme. You cannot continue on the ordinary work permit. You might be able to continue that until that work permit limit has come to its limit. But after that, you cannot work on a work permit.
So if you're married to come here, married to Cayman, or you're married to Cayman to get here,
yes,
then your immigration status needs to be adjusted.
Yes, right.
Again, it seems maybe because of the amendments, maybe because of the motive aspect, some people are unsure. And Ms. Matthew, you talked about the road that some may take for naturalization, so they could, once they get. Is it okay maybe to ask you to expound on that a little bit further? A person who's here, they have a work permit, they go to tell us how that would work, and then.
Well, if you are here for 15 years, if you're permanent, if you're ordinary residents in the Cayman Islands for 15 years, and you applied to be registered as a under the British Nationality Act, or to acquire British nationality under the British Nationality Act, then you can apply for Cayman status.
Okay, so once you're here
for 15 years, and after 15 years you apply for that. You apply to be naturalized. You can get you can then apply for Cayman status. Once you're here and you have gotten Caymanian status after 5 years, you had it for 5 years. You understand? It's 15 years and 5 years. If you have obtained it have obtained it for 5 years, 5 years has passed since you got it, then you can apply for Cayman status as well.
Right. By being naturalized.
So some people come, and you have to stay in the marriage 7 years to be able to be free from the immigration controls. It's so that because if your marriage falls apart before that time, before the 7 years is up, you know that your status can be forfeited. So some people get married, and then after 5 years into the marriage, they obtain British under the British Nationality Act. They got registered, and then they can automatically obtain Cayman status too.
Right. So once they're naturalized.
Yes.
So that period is actually 3 years now, Mr. Chairman.
It's been reduced. Yeah,
it's been reduced to 3 years.
Yeah. And that reduction was our legislation.
Or domestic legislation. So what triggers that is a bit of a technical bit. So if you're under immigration control, so if you have a limit in time that you can work and remain in Cayman, you're not free of immigration controls. So you can't progress to apply for naturalization. The grant of permanent residency, i.e. your residency doesn't have an end date. You're permanently resident.
In one forever.
Frees you of immigration control, which triggers within a year your ability to apply for naturalization as a British overseas territorial citizen.
Once you're of PR for a year?
And free of immigration controls for a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that...
It's a release from immigration controls that... So whether you're in a fixed-term government contract or on a work permit, you have a finite time, a stamp in your passport, for lack of better words, that says you're valid to remain and work in country until this date. That's a control for immigration. So once you have that, you cannot apply for naturalization under the British Nationality Act.
And once, I just asked to revisit because I was thinking back to some conversations I had earlier today. Again, trying to understand the nature of our discussion and appreciating that even amongst those of us who have an opinion, who may feel sufficiently, aware of the legislation or who've had personal experiences, there's still a lot of discussion, put it that way, as to what transpires. So in that case, I would just to repeat it, a person who has permanent residency with a right to work, so they've been here for the period of time they're granted, that's in their thing, 8-9 years or so. To your point, to be free of immigration control, that person is still subject to immigration control because
not in relation to their ability to remain in Ireland. So permanent residency is in effect permanent residence.
Yes.
So there's no end date on that. What has some variability to it is their ability to work in a certain occupation for a set period of time, but that doesn't actually construe the right to remain in country.
Right. How does a person then who has permanent residency with the right to work, and they're working in medicine, law, accounting, electrician, plumber, irrespective of it, but they have permanent residency with the right to work. How do they get to be, other than marriage how do they get to the space where they're free from immigration control?
So when a work permit holder applies for permanent residency and they meet the 110 points and it's approved, that gives them a certificate that says they're a permanent resident. So right then and there, they're actually free of immigration controls in relation to their ability to remain in country.
And then at that point, so they have that, they're permanent resident, right to work, they've met their points, they're here, they're free of immigration control, and they can then apply after a year to be naturalized?
To be naturalized.
Yes.
And once they're naturalized, then that puts in a path to Cayman status.
5 years.
Yes.
5 years from there.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're applying for the right to be Caymanians on the grounds that they were naturalized.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. But permanent residency with a right to work does not mean that they're free. They can work, as Mr. Hubble said, they can work in any job. The permanent residence also has restrictions.
Right.
If you're an accountant, you cannot go and be a bank manager, or if you were a carpenter, you cannot go and be a mason. You would have to come back and get a variation on your certificate.
And you would pay the requisite fee, whether you're an accountant or you're a mason, for that permanent residency, whatever that fee attracts.
Based on the equivalent of a work permit.
Work permit. Right.
And it's the same breach of terms if you're a permanent resident with a right to work, you can work for any employer within your specified occupation
Yes.
field. If you work outside of those terms, it's the same offense as it would be for a work permit. So if you're in as an accountant but you want to be a partner, you got to go apply for that bit for a more senior role, and that variation would have to go forward for consideration.
So there's also permanent residency without a right to work also. That's a people of independent means and retired people. That's kind of permanent residency.
Right, and I'm hoping that through these public education initiatives that we get to understand it. We know that there have been some cases before the courts. Certain lawyers have certain perspectives and the like. Right?
Oh yes, oh yes. They're always pushing the envelope. Sometimes they're not happy with the board decision, and the next thing is to appeal to the courts. Some of them are successful and some of them are not.
And with that, I want to perhaps maybe share one or two comments from our listeners, but I recognize the time and certainly an invitation to come back. But just to revisit quickly based on one of the earlier comments, that person who has primary residency with the right to work, who is employed in a particular field, and we got a lot of accountants, so let's use them for example. They are accountant in firm A and they get a job offer from accounting firm B. Unlike the work permit holder who would need the release and approval, this person is like a Caymanian. They could put in their resignation and then go work for the accounting firm in the same sort of job, same job description. They're not become a partner.
So they have the right to work for any employer. So the right to work is really their own facility that typically they pay for. Some of the companies are kind enough to pay for that for their employees. The law was changed some time back to make it a penalty. Well, first of all, you can lose your permanent residency if you don't pay your right to work fees.
Yes.
So you know that is an offense that can result in the revocation
forfeiture
of your permanent residency.
Okay.
The law was changed some years back to hold not only the permanent resident accountable for that, but also the employer, which is why employers are now saying, prove to me that you're Caymanian, or we need to apply for a work permit, or prove to me that you have a valid right to work as a PR holder, because they get fined and held accountable as well.
Okay.
So, but yeah, they have the right to work in that occupation for anyone.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Can we share with you a couple of comments from our listeners? And again, to our listeners, Mr. Myfield and Mr. Howell have to exit at 2 p.m. Says, good day to the panel. Says, PR and Caymanian status are very similar. In the law, there are provisions for someone to have PR revoked due to a crime, false information, becoming destitute, etc. Why aren't the same provisions of revocation used for Cayman status?
Cayman status can be revoked.
Can be revoked too.
As well.
Right.
The bar is a bit higher, but there are terms under which it can be revoked. What's a bit more difficult is the British overseas territory citizenship that has very limited grounds under which it can be revoked.
Okay. Can we also read this other, maybe one or two? It says, considering the results from the census, which confirm our permanent population is growing by immigration at unprecedented and uncontrolled rates, has government considered implementing a moratorium, or at the very least, a limit or quota on the numbers for both PR and status? If not, why not? This sounds like a Miss Universe question.
Well, that's one of the things that the committee is at the moment looking into, whether or not a quota system would be a substitute for the point system. We have not come to any conclusion about that yet. We don't know. The government that's something that the government would have to do themselves. After they receive our report, the government would have a right to do that or not to do that. But that's one of the things that we're looking at.
Okay.
As to whether or not a quota system would be a substitute for the point system.
Or in addition to the point
or addition to
point
that
system.
Yes.
The challenge there, though, is to figure out what the criteria is for who gets through the funnel,
Yes.
And which persons are allowed to make that cut for whatever limited amounts they are for that particular period.
Mr. Myfield, Mr. Howell, I believe there's a call on line, sir, and I know you have to leave shortly. We'll go to the phones. Hey, good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon, Dwayne.
Good afternoon, man. Welcome. How are you?
Okay. Good afternoon to you guys, too.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, well, I just like to say that if I had the power to do so, nobody would get status in the Cayman Islands until they've been here at least 21 years. And that I'm talking about rich or poor. This island is too small. We have 700 children graduating every year. We have to think about them. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much for that. Is this what probably inherently we're trying to achieve? What the future population and employment?
That's part of the ambit that the chairman read at the beginning.
That's the beginning. I wrote that at you in the beginning. That's one of the things that we have to look after. What does Cayman going to look like 50, 20, 30 years from now, and what kind of people we're going to have here, and what's the size of the population are going to be or should be.
One of our listeners was asking, and perhaps I should read it as this. I know we spoke to it at the outset, but maybe it's easier if I just, in deference to both our guests as well as the listener. Let me read it. And I'll try to do it without putting on glasses. Can you be proud of me, man? I says good afternoon. Asking whether we could say whether there are any thoughts about revising the point system to reduce the points for land or home ownership, and more points for the training and development of able Caymanians within the PR applicants' workplace. We spoke to that just briefly, but the last part perhaps not.
Mr. Chairman is smiling, as am I. It is a key question, and we were actually seeking some data to figure out the effect that the land ownership points have on the domestic market for real estate, and how much that influences the price of real estate and the sort of challenges for particularly young Caymanians to get into the real estate market themselves. So that's something that we're going to look at. Mr. Chairman and his committee would look at that very closely. The Deputy Premier has gone on record to say that he would like to see changes in the points in relation to the voluntary aspect, where things like mentorship of Caymanians into the workplace, Caymanians, entrepreneurs, those things would rank much higher than dog walking or sort of the less involved and the less beneficial to Cayman overall voluntary activities. But Mr. Chairman deals with that on a daily basis now in his committee and his board capacity as well, not just alone on this committee. But to add to the caller's question about sort of the 21 years, if you're looking at the census, it's not just permanent residency that has an effect on our overall population. Is the workforce that is necessary to support the demand locally for consumption. Be that through supermarkets or teachers or nurses or doctors. That drives, and not all of those people stay long enough to apply for PR or are indeed interested in applying for PR. But that's another area where our overall population is impacted as well.
It's interesting. I mean, as you increase your population, however means, you increase the need to service that population through infrastructure, housing, more food on the shelves, hospital, healthcare, education, or what have you. And then that increases the population, and then it's that circle. Mr. McField, I know you've always been very gracious with your time, but I know you did share.
Yeah, I just want to go back to the property issue, where it says maximum points will be awarded automatically to where the total investment exceeds $500,000. Well, there's no coincidence. When you read this, when you see that. You get maximum points for having property that's 500,000 or over. There should be no. You should know. There's no coincidence that nearly every apartment now that is a decent apartment is $500,000 or more.
Could we certainly invite you to come back on.
So we you should assume that would have some impact on the property markets.
There's much to be considered. I mean, maybe in reference, in the terms of reference, the whole idea of the social and economic sort of objectives of the government. I don't know to what extent the public understands where they are and publish to appreciate what it is as part of that policy.
So I can share before we head to the break that Mr. Chairman was kind enough to draft some initial questions that have been worked on by the team, and the goal there is to survey the general public to hear what their views are on a number of key questions that would help drive the discussions and determinations from the committee's work. So you can stay tuned to that avenue as well to figure out,
all right.
how we will get those questions out and how people can participate in that.
Great. In the public education, now we have the break. Mr. Macfield, you have, I think, other engagements, right?
Yes.
All right. And Mr. Howell, you're taking leave of us as well. Huh?
Absolutely.
Well, I can commit to you publicly, I won't sing in your absence, but I certainly would encourage the public to maybe call in. We can record some questions and pass along, or we can engage.
Yes.
And as and when the public education initiatives, the consultation, the public meetings, let us know how we can help. But thank you very much, Mr. Macfield.
Thank you for
always a pleasure, Mr.
Thank you thank you for allowing us to come on your radio and to bring this information to your listeners, and I'm sure we'll be back.
Brain we are, indeed. All right, let's pause. When we come back, the next half hour will be open line. If I can get Fox to sing, I'll listen. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences.
Subway makes it easy for you to stay on top of your health and wellness goals with our Fresh Fit menu options. Choose from 5 Fresh Fit Subway sandwiches with only 450 calories or less per 6-inch sub. Turkey breast, veggie, oven roasted chicken, black forest ham, sweet onion chicken teriyaki, or make your 6-inch Fresh Fit sub into a salad or wrap prepared with fresh vegetables. For a full menu and nutritional information, visit subway.ky. Subway, eat fresh.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brack and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. The Cayman Islands National Museum will close at 4 p.m. today for exhibit maintenance and will reopen Thursday, November 10th at 9 a.m. In international news, Donald Trump has warned Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis against running for president in 2024, saying doing so would harm the Republican Party. He also threatened to release unflattering information about the 44-year-old without providing details. Mr. DeSantis won a landslide victory in Tuesday's midterms, underlining his popularity and further fueling speculation he will launch a bid. Mr. Trump is also tipped to announce a presidential run in the coming days. Twitter has fired nearly all its staff in Ghana, which was home to its only office in Africa. The firm is reorganizing its operations as a result of a need to reduce costs, read Twitter's email seen by the BBC. The layoffs were part of a global staff cull introduced by new boss Elon Musk. The Ghana office was opened to some fanfare last year, with the company saying it wanted to be more immersed in African conversations. These are your latest headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
And the whole island is one big party.
Grand Cayman Pirates Fest is here. Taking over Seafarers Way. Saturday, November 12th, Georgetown events start at 1 p.m. with the cardboard boat race and water mermaids showcase. The pirates storm the streets at 3 p.m. followed by the float parade, national song and heritage costume competition, and fireworks show at 9 p.m. A full Saturday of thrills for the entire family, including 8 hours of food festival. Saturday, November 12th, the party takes over Seafarers Way. Afternoon till night. Come full lunch, party a bunch, and pirate the night away.
The Department of Environmental Health would like to advise West Bay residents to get their bulk waste ready for collection from November 7th to the 12th. Household appliances, furniture, and other items too large to be handled by the weekly DEH collection crews should be placed by the roadside where it is easily accessible to DEH collection crews. Metals and vegetation should also be separated from other bulk items. Do not obstruct the roadway or storm drains or place tires, construction and demolition waste, hazardous materials, or electronics. For more information on the West Bay bulk waste collection from November 7th to the 12th, please contact DEH's Solid Waste Management Team at 949-6696.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And we have a special treat for you. We'll get to that in a second, but I'm told there's a call in the queue. Let's go to the phones and hear and listen. Good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sterling. How are you today, sir?
And to you, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. I wanted to catch those gentlemen while they were on there, but I was kind of busy doing something. But
yes, sir.
I'm going to put the onus on you. Please, I would like you to find out 2 questions for me, please.
Yes, sir. 2 questions. Okay.
Cayman is a very small place, like I heard the last, I think, caller said.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if the immigration board or those that are dealing with this permanent residents can let us, the public, know if there is a cutoff time that they say, sorry, the 5-pound pot.
Yes, sir. Hello? Hello, caller? Okay, well, hopefully you get a chance to get back to us. But with that, and if you join us in YouTube, we get a chance. So, my friend, if DJ Doctor is around, send him in the house, because I want to have an opportunity to welcome. He has allowed us to have the chance now to speak, not only by appearances, but otherwise, what he says, the half of voice. Hey, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
All right.
All right. You enjoying it?
Oh, yeah.
They say once a musician, always a musician, and the smile always makes you happy, huh?
Oh, yeah.
All right. And to you?
I'm doing quite fine.
Doing fine?
Okay, oh, yeah.
All right. Well, once the dog comes in the house, he can tell us. But so we have this chance. I know. But tell us. We're here. What are we doing? Where are we going? How much fun we gonna have? Make him do it. So he said, age before beauty.
Yeah. Well. First of all, we wanna thank the Caymanians for receiving us in quite a way.
Yeah.
Quite a good way, and also wanna thank the doc for making this possible.
Yeah.
And we had a show on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Which was a big success. It was a blast, and I must say, I'm not quite a shy person, but first time in life that I got what they call stage fright.
Where was that, man?
It was there in our mango tree.
Yeah.
And as I said, first time that I got stage fright.
It took me, I should be careful. So it took me a while. We live in this world where thankfully we have, if not friends, at least acquaintances.
Mm-hmm.
And you see one little video and you see another one, you go, wait a minute, that looks like a familiar place to some of us when we used to, much younger days go. That's what I heard about, right, Doc?
That's what you heard about Saturday?
Yeah, it was fun. Tell me about it, man.
Hey, man. Well, thanks for having me on. And these are the happy boys, Dwayne and Walter. Walter been in the game since Adele was a little boy for a long time. And I grew up listening to this type of music. And somebody messaged me online and say, this what they call the old foot music. I said, like, what's the old foot? All right. I don't know if that was a sling back in the day. But yeah, Loud Productions. I want to thank Radio Cayman and quite a few sponsors, the Mango Tree and quite a few other ones out there for making this possible. I think this type of music was very well missed. That type of reggae calypso.
Yeah.
And it was great on Saturday. So
it's a good setting too. I mean, it was one of those that I have a family member who would have gone, but for all the understandable commitments that life can bring when you get beyond 60. And I was reminded that maybe when a family member was half that age, Mango Tree were hopping and jumping, and that was the place to be, right, Ms. Waller? What does that do for you? Because I do recognize you. I mean, and I don't want to say that you're older than me, but you're certainly, almost the same age. What is that like? Performing there in particular, and it's not your first time.
That's my first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
It was nice?
Oh, yeah.
And was it for you? I mean, as Dwayne said, he got sort of stage fright. Was it for you surprising that the audience actually related to the music, recognized it, and go, wow, finally, something I can listen to and dance to?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, I mean, people embraced it, and what's the good thing about bringing these guys up? They have different genres of music. Right. They have a gospel set that is very, very popular. That during the pandemic, very well known here in Cayman because of the Facebook streams that they did. And then they have, what is the good reggae, calypso, country, which is type of music that islanders grew up listening to, right? So to find a venue or even to find a night that you can go out to enjoy this type of music, and especially with a live band, back in the day, from what I understand, there will be a live band, and then there wasn't about DJs. It was always a live band. Music, and maybe you would have a DJ fill in while they take a break.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's something we need to bring back.
Yeah. And I'm glad you referenced that, because that live entertainment, and there were a few spots, Mango Tree, from what I remember, because we're young, right? That was a spot. You go, there would be entertainment, there live music, and it was the fun. The people were enjoying themselves through dance and performing. Well, from that perspective, you say you got stage fright. You're not a shy person. That's what you say.
I don't think you really got stage. Feel a little nervous about it. First time they leave Rotan, come international. Yeah. So it was nice for them. Yeah, it was a little nervous because it's quite overwhelming crowd.
Yeah.
On Saturday, and hopefully tonight the same thing, and then the BRAC on the weekend, Friday, and then back here on Saturday.
So Mango Tree again tonight.
Mango Tree tonight, and then the BRAC is a gospel and country music, right? That will be on the Friday, and that's sponsored by the Honorable Juliana Connor O'Connelly, and then she's hosting that. We're back on Saturday, and we were doing Mango Tree, and then on Monday we're doing East End at the Fish Fry. Yeah. This more of a chill vibe.
Yeah. Right. What sort of led to this initiative? I mean, thank you for doing it. I think it would speak well to not just the mature audiences, but as you just shared, reminding people that there was a time when live music meant just that, and in the DJ, that other thing came into play. Right. And it not only gives our friends and family from the Bay Islands a chance for us to see their talent, but for us to appreciate that music can really unite.
You're right. You're so right. I think there's a big connection between the Bay Islands and Cayman Islands that most people would know, but it's something that but it stops there. Right? Yeah. And I think with blending the music and the history, I have quite a few people that have probably looked at these guys and say, "Oh, they're not from here. Straight from here." Like even like Walter, somebody mentioned me today.
He looked familiar, right?
He looked familiar. He looked at somebody, you know.
I showed a picture of somebody who like.
Right. So I mean, there's that blend when you listen about last names like the Jacksons and the Bawdens and the Ebanks and all those names that we're familiar with here. The same thing is back there. So the culture is there, the music is there, and I think bringing that type of music here, because I think the local music scene, when it comes to the type of music, country, calypso, reggae, needs to be rekindled, and probably this is one way to do that, right? We have quite a lot of bands that's performed here in Cayman that I honestly believe, this is just my personal opinion, but I can be wrong.
Is that possible?
Yeah, I can be wrong.
Does no one know that?
I can be wrong, but I think that there's not a lot of motivation out there for a lot of band members and a lot of artists to even compose and all the work that goes into it. And I think these guys collabing between these islands and Cayman, and you put so and so from Cayman performing with so and so from the Bay Islands, and then just collabing that, getting that something people like to be. Sometimes you got to rekindle it again and come up with a different angle. You have to come in with a different angle. So I think that this is a good thing. This would be great.
If I might ask them, performing here and then performing back home, how is it, each of you can share, how is it alike, and then how is it different if it's different?
It don't matter, it's no different to me. I don't feel it's not different.
The same thing, yeah?
Yeah, I feel it's...
Yeah.
And the crowd, the setting, because I think back to some who have traveled to some of the Bay Islands, and even though the little bit I know, perhaps the Mango Tree outdoor setting is similar, with the exception that one or two venues in the Bay Islands closer to the water.
Right.
I won't say no more than that.
Yeah, you have venues down there, Walter. You guys play at what venues? On the beach, hotels, resorts.
We play Antonis Key. We play Sol del Mar. We played Bananarama.
So this is like weekly, right?
Yeah, we play every day.
Every day
somewhere else. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah.
And it just shows you, right, that not only is there the interest and the ability in the music, but the opportunity. And for the musicians here, the challenges that some of them may have to have a regular gig. They may have a weekly gig. It may be every 2 weeks they're performing. You're playing every day somewhere. There is that call, that desire for live music.
You're right. And on top of that, and what makes this very interesting, and these boys can vouch for it, is one of the big reasons why they're in Cayman is using a lot of band members and artists doesn't use the tools that in front of them. Like, let's say for YouTube, for example, or Facebook or Instagram, it's a tool that most parents that are of age or grandparents would say that's it's not a good tool. It's this could be bad for my children.
Right.
But let's say performers now. You can be a performer and you can be a producer, you can be an artist, whatever. Put out your content. One of the reasons these guys are here, because not just because they go out there and sing, they put out their content online, and people like it. And one of the things that a lot of people don't do that in this music business, they don't travel to see what. Let me go take a visit to, Trinidad Carnival, or let's go to Jamaica to one of these festivals. Sometimes you got to open your eyes. You need to be refreshed.
You're saying that. I think one of the mistakes you made, made it very evident initially. We don't leverage the tools of resources.
Yeah.
First of all, they, using the social media, the YouTube, and the like helps to not just get a message out, bring awareness, but help you to build your brand.
And
right?
followers. They get followers.
Exactly.
Because sometimes even here in locally, if a band goes out there and perform for a few $100s, whatever, and at the end of the night, the owner of the bar or hotel or whatever say, okay, here you go, thank you for coming out. And if you don't have if you don't have the that crowd there, there's no motivation.
Right.
And I think the artists themselves need to reach out to the world,
exactly,
putting their stuff.
And that's the other thing, the other mistake I think that we tend to make.
Right.
We fish in the same pond. You look at football. We play the same football against everybody at the same time, same team constantly. We don't introduce our players to different teams, like we don't, allow our audience to have different artists, different acts. But we don't also go scouting, for others. So, bringing these guys over here, it's good for us.
Yeah.
It's great for you, and it builds the music connection. We do have a caller online.
Sure.
All right. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Mr. Sterling, it's me again,
Welcome back again, sir.
And the young man that you got here with you, you never one of them with you, or he got his band with him?
We got two of them, and I think both would be young,
Yeah, well, okay, well, I want to congratulate my good friend Dwayne. Is he there with you?
Yes, indeed.
Well, me and Dwayne been friends for donkey years, So I just want to congratulate him, and I'm glad that he's in Cayman and I'm getting ready to come down in a little while. And I know that you got your other friend with you, and I don't want to call him name. Is he there with you too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there.
That's my good friend. This is George,
Oh, yeah, okay. I know, yeah.
Yeah, we used to work in the Paragua many years ago, donkey years before these boys we were talking to now were born.
Right.
We come from a long way.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to congratulate you all, and I want to let you know, Mr. Sterling, that Dwayne has a wonderful show back in Rattan called Back to My Roots, and he got a lot of fans up here in Cayman. A lot.
Well, Mr. George, I appreciate you reminding that, because I think we quick to take so much for, just for granted. And this is why I appreciate, DJ Doctor just stepping across and allowing the Caymanian listening audience to not only appreciate we got his talent so close to hand, but we have a venue tonight, and we also have, one in the back on the weekend and then East End on Monday.
There you go.
Yeah, but I told him to dance. I can't dance no more, so I can't jig up no more. If I go now, I fall on my walking stick. But
well, you can tap your toes, man. You can tap your toes.
Man. Anyhow, I'm gonna see you guys in a little while. Dwayne.
All right, Mr. Shillai. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Shillai. So tonight, there's good food at Mango Tree.
Yeah, and you can sample something that you probably haven't tasted before. It's called McCoy. It's a Bay Island dish. It's a crossover of a rundown chicken and pigtail and all the different bread kind, as we would call it.
Yeah, the bread kind. Yeah.
So it's like a stew. That's totally free when you guys with your cover. So come on down, and we invite everybody to come out tonight. This is part of a new thing we're doing, which I will tell you all further on. But tonight, midweek, Wednesday, free McCoy night. Come on out. The band dance is ready. We're kicking off Pirates Week from tonight.
Well, I'm glad that you took a few minutes to step with us, right? And I'm hoping that people, it is midweek. It is a part of the Pirates Fest.
Yeah.
It is, a great weekend to be reminded that we have the great freedoms as we celebrate with our veterans and try to show, our respect for their sacrifice and service. And true, as Mr. Shalat shared just then, true dancing, true music, you can come out with your significant other and have a great evening.
That's true. And clean.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about no stress. What we call big people music. You don't have to worry about, having any issue.
Yeah.
And now and then, you can. There's all kinds of music. There's music, what they call grab a tile, where you can, when's the last time you can go out and dance a little country, a little soul, good soul music? Nowadays, you don't get that no more. It's either you do the walk up, and that's it. You go home, right?
It's over that.
But yeah, so you get a little bit of everything. Country, soul, reggae, calypso, a little Latin. These guys can do it all.
Yeah.
And Friday, Cayman Brack, get ready. They're coming. It's going to be a gospel and country music. And that'll go into the night. So make sure to check that out. And on Saturday, we're back after the parade and everything on the waterfront for Pirates Week. We will be at Mango Tree once again. And then Monday, we're doing the Holiday Monday up at East End on the beach there at Eastern Star Bar.
Awesome, man. And I appreciate it. And I think, Mr. John Edward and the team over at Mango Tree will, as usual, provide exceptional hospitality.
There
It'll
you
be
go.
fun. So what other words you want to share with us? I know you make your, presence known through the music, but anything you want to share with us?
Not really, not right now.
Let's come tonight and hear you, right?
Yeah.
Dwayne, what about you, man?
Well, thank you all once again for having us. Thank you for supporting us thus far. And we wish to see you at any one of our next shows.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming in. Doc, thanks for bringing everybody across.
I'll see you there tonight. Get some McCoy.
You know what? Yeah. Let me hold on to that. All right. Be careful, because I seem to be finding, leave me not in temptation if I should find it myself.
There you go, boy. I'll prep you.
All right. We're going to pause, take that break, but tonight, at the Mango Tree, have some fun, man. And say hello to Mr. John Edward for me. All right. When you come back a couple of minutes, so stay tuned for Talk Today.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross, now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
And the whole island is one big party, party, party.
Grand Cayman Pirates Fest is here. Taking over Seafarers Way. Saturday, November 12th, Georgetown events start at 1 p.m. with the cardboard boat race and water mermaids showcase. The pirates storm the streets at 3 p.m. followed by the float parade, national song and heritage costume competition, and fireworks show at 9 p.m. A full Saturday of thrills for the entire family, including 8 hours of food festival. Saturday, November 12th, the party takes over Seafarers Way. Afternoon till night. Come for lunch, party a bunch, and pirate the night away.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Dwayne Porter will be taking appointments from September 30th until October 8th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email dr.portercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That is 946-9020.
Water Authority Cayman would like to advise customers in the Cayman Kai area that the authority will conduct leak detection work from November 8th to November 11th between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. Customers may experience intermittent service interruption during these tests. These works will impact customers on the following roads: Sandpoint Road, Sankola Close, Water Key Road from the Sandpoint intersection, Finger Key Road, Camp Drive, and Kaibo Crescent. The Water Authority apologizes for any inconvenience these works may cause and thanks the public for their patience and understanding.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks very much for joining us. And it's been a distinct pleasure to sit and host this show, and I trust that each and every day as we facilitate that interaction and engagement, we'll add greater value. It is an honor indeed. Now, having our folks and friends from the Sunrise Adult Training Center share with us that next Thursday, their production 7 p.m. at the Harquail. Please get your tickets. Be a part of it. See the center's production of Aladdin. And then tonight, DJ Doctor and Harper Boys and crew joins Mr. John Edward and team over at the Mango Tree. Of course, our friends in the back will be there definitely on Friday, having their gospel and country concert. And then start at the back of the Mango Tree, and again Sunday in East End. Well, what better way to appreciate the freedoms that we enjoy in this democracy, and all because we have again a chance to show reverence to our veterans for their ultimate sacrifice, and because of that, we don't take it lightly. We should not take it for granted, and as we show them and pay our respects, let's be mindful in our celebration that we can do that because of them. Now, there was a time, and we still do it from time to time. Our wonderful sales associate and account rep in our sales, Raymond, he does his morning shout-outs on For the Record, saying happy birthdays. Sort of a homage to what we did already, came on with a request line way back then. Well, if I might, in closing out today's show, the gentleman that I call a friend, someone I refer fondly and with great respect as our poet laureate. Not that he's officially sanctioned as such, but we all recognize his poetry and his incredible, determination, dedication to the craft. Mr. Leonard Dilbert, he celebrates his birthday today, and on behalf of his lovely wife, someone I fondly say, Lady Jennifer, she says, please wish, my amazing husband the most beautiful, blessed, and loved birthday. So, yeah, proclaim your love publicly and let it be celebrated daily. One of my sisters celebrates today as well, but I shan't, bring too much attention to her because, like many, we keep it so. Well, have a great afternoon. I'm going to do my best to be as productive and perhaps in my pensive moments, perhaps plan to make things happen for the better. Come back tomorrow for Business Buzz. Another jovial fella, some would call him Junior, others say he's the son of Hides. He's going to be one of the guests, I know for sure, tomorrow as he joins Anita. Come back for Talk Today after the midday news and midday meditation. We're hoping to make up good use of our internet connection and join an incredible young lady for part of our discussion. We got one of the MPs for West Bay, Miss Catherine Ebanks Wills, as our first guest. So we'll have that discussion, and then Miss Emily will be the one thereafter. Well, let's go about the place. Let's enjoy it. Let's give thanks. Let's be grateful. Let's ensure that we are, forever mindful of the need to be careful in our endeavors, considerate in our actions, and not just caution in our approach, but committed to country and to ensuring that what we present and preserve, that we are indeed intent on doing the utmost. Until tomorrow, my friends, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331.
Talk Today is proudly brought to you by Pirates Fest 2022. Stay in the know. Get the full event lineup at piratesfestcayman.com.
And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village. Convenient opening hours.